Every night, I dream the same dream. And then... the nightmare begins. I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! And become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
What's up, everybody? I'm White Mike the Realist, aka the Mad Critic. Today we're going to talk about Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse. Also, we're going to talk about movies I watch on Netflix. Stay tuned after the intro, and we'll get right to it.
White Mike, the Realist. This beat make me go gorillas. Balenciaga, chinchillas. Use a lemon if you don't feel this.
All right, I'm back. Let's dive right into it. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Also starring Rachel McAdams as Dr. Christine Palmer. Also, Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier and Benedict Wong as Wong. Anyways, Doctor Strange opens up a doorway in the multiverse, including an alternate version of himself. So, sounds like there might be a villainous Doctor Strange from what I can read here. But, personally, I'm not a big comic book movie guy. I think I said this about Morbius. But, DC and Marvel movies. This is a Marvel movie, but honestly, I don't know. It's kind of so much make-believe. And, make-believe to me is mindless entertainment, where if there's some type of a story behind it and there's all this action or whatever, usually it's pretty good. I remember in Doctor Strange 1, came out a few years ago, I enjoyed it. I liked that movie. It wasn't like I didn't like it. I left the movies happy, or wherever I watched it. I probably didn't go to the movies to see it because I wasn't critiquing movies, and I don't think I'd pay to see Doctor Strange. I mean, hey, these are my opinions. They're not paying me to give you these opinions, so I'm just going to tell you like it is. This is what it is. I'm in my 40s, and we don't really do comic book movies. A lot of guys my age do comic book movies, but me personally, I'm not really a comic book dude. I'll check out Batman, but all the other stuff, it's not prioritized in my life to do comic book movies. Anyways, Benedict Cumberbatch, I like that dude. He had a series, an English-made series or whatnot, a few years ago. I think he's a pretty good actor, underrated actor actually. But Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff. I haven't seen one of the Olsen twins for a while. Rest in peace to her play father in Full House, by the way. Also, Patrick Stewart playing Xavier, and that's his character from X-Men, and he's always going to be the same actor. I've seen quite a few movies with him. Even when he doesn't play X-Men or Xavier, he's always the same character. But here's something interesting. Benedict Cumberbatch, right? I mean, how many people are named Benedict? Well, in this movie, there's two. Benedict Wong. So I'm like, how odd is that they've got two Benedicts? I wonder if they thought about that when they cast this movie right here. But anyways, yeah, like I said, Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange 1, I enjoyed it. I do remember watching it, and I did enjoy it, and I was impressed. And hopefully this Doctor Strange 2 is going to be more of the same. That's all I can hope for. If it's better, hey, kudos to that. If it's worse, then I'll just be disappointed that I watched the movies and it's going to get a low grade. But I'm definitely, stay tuned for when this movie does come out and watch my real critiquing of the show. But I'm not going to say that this is on one of my bucket lists to go see this movie, but we'll be watching it the day it comes out, like I do all these other movies. Anyways, I wanted to talk about other things too, other than just movies that are upcoming. I want to talk about movies that I've watched streaming. And, we all sit at home and stroll through Netflix, scroll through Amazon Prime, Hulu, whatever you've got, whatever streaming service you've got. And you're like, let me try this movie, let me try this movie, let me try this movie. And half the movies you try, it's like, too low budget, too low budget, too low budget. Well, the other day I tried a European film. It was called T-34.
Сколько немцев, товарищ лейтенант?
По данным разведки, не менее роты.
Пехоты?
Танков.
Ich gebe dir eine Chance.
Я даю тебе еще шанс.
Du stellst eine russische Panzerbesatzung zusammen.
Ты подберешь и подготовишь экипаж русских танкистов. В назначенный день ты выйдешь на полигон и покажешь все, что ты умеешь моим курсантам.
Ты разумеешь, что я тебе скончить должен зараз?
Du wirst keine Munition
У
haben.
тебя не будет снарядов. Будет только твое мастерство.
Вас Аня зовут? С этого момента я ваш командир. Выполняйте все мои приказы и не смейте сомневаться.
Я лучше с тобой погибну, чем в плену жить буду.
Ты что задумал? А ты догадайся.
Starring some people I'd never heard of, but Alexander Petrov, he was the lead character. He was a tank driver. Also starring Irene Stenshabaum. She was she played a lead character also. She was a nurse in there for the Russians or whatnot. Also starring Vincent Kiefer as the Nazi tank driver. So anyway, this T-34 was about the T-34 tanks in Russia. And the movie started off, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a streaming movie. Is it going to be worth watching? Started off, I was like, well, it doesn't look like it's super low budget like the European films I'm usually used to. Like, they just don't add up to Hollywood quality. But in this particular one, right off the bat, it was a battle between tanks. And honestly, it had me on the edge of my seat right off the bat. I'm like, whoa, this is intense right here. And then the tanks started blowing stuff up. Tanks started blowing up. And when that happened, the CG, they did the computer graphic blow-ups or whatever. It wasn't a big enough budget movie to actually blow up a tank. But the computer graphics, they weren't really exceptional, but I guess they did the job. Not bad enough to where it turned me away from watching the movies, because I'm telling you, some CG, the movie will be halfway decent, and then the CG comes along. It's like, I can't do this anymore. It's just the CG's horrible, so I just can't get through this movie. Anyways, with this particular movie in T-34, it literally had me on the edge of my seat. The computer graphics, they weren't too bad and it wasn't too much, so I could get through it. But what happens is this Russian tank is like the baddest tank, and the Panzers are chasing this one tank down, and they have a heck of a battle. And I don't want to give up too much, but the Russians end up getting caught and end up in a German war camp. And the Germans catch a T-34, and they want the crew of that T-34, or actually the leader of that T-34, to teach them how to drive the tank like that. So they, who basically to be a traitor to their country. But then he was going to end up killing Irene what's her name, Starshenbaum or something. So they were going to end up killing her. I'm going to end up spelling this in the, I'll spell it properly for you guys. But Irene, anyway, was, they threatened to kill her, so he really had no choice but to teach them how to drive the tanks. Well, what they did is they got the T-34 and they put him on a battlefield, like a staged battlefield in front of the prison, and the tank, the German war tanks, it was like 5 versus 1, and they were going to try to outmaneuver him. Well, when they got the tank, there were dead bodies in the tank, and there was ammunition in the tank, and the Germans overlooked that. So they had like 3 or 4 missiles in the tank for the tank to actually fire, and somehow the Germans missed that up. I don't know if that would have happened in real life, but supposedly it happened like that just for the movie. I mean, the bodies inside the tank, they make it obvious that they were smelling really rough, so maybe none of the Nazis actually wanted to go in the tank to actually secure it and make sure that that was the case, that there was no weapons in the tank. Anyways, this movie right here, to be a European film, I have to say the Russians are, this is a Russian film, and it's too bad what's going on in Russia and the Ukraine right now, and hopefully it doesn't turn into World War III. But it's funny that I'm watching this at the same time that that's happening, but I do have to say that this movie was well written. This movie was well directed, and the computer computer graphics weren't too bad. And I was on the edge of my seat for most of this movie. I have to say, I mean, it was better than a lot of these American-made Hollywood big films. And I would suggest, if you guys like war movies, that this is a better one that you're going to see. It was a real good movie. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's see if I was to rate this one. I'd probably rate it, knowing that it wasn't a big release and knowing that it wasn't a Hollywood movie, if it was a big release, I'd rate it a 7, but since it was not a big release and it was done in Europe or whatnot, and just the fact that the Europeans are catching up to us in filmmaking abilities, I'm going to give it an 8. So basically, I'm going to give it the keys to my Jag. And it's a strong 8. Other than the CG, this was a good movie. I saw that movie with Fury with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf, however you say his name. Fury, I didn't leave Fury thinking, oh, that was the greatest movie, but I did get done watching T-34 saying, wow, how did nobody ever hear of that unless you have Netflix? Because I saw this one on Netflix. It's an amazing movie. To be honest with you, it was better than Fury starring Brad Pitt. But at least it had me on the edge of the seat more. It was way more intense. And I guess I'm here to go through movies on Netflix and stuff like that, trying to waste time, I guess, because that's, when I go get in the bed, I like to downsize and not worry about the troubles of the day and just watch a movie. And if it's a good movie, I want to talk about it. If it's a bad movie, I want to talk about it. I just want to talk about it. I want to help you guys decide if you want to watch it. So I do suggest, if you have Netflix, go watch T-34. I'm literally, like I said, I give it the keys to my Jag. That means it's a pretty darn good movie. So yeah, like and subscribe. And until the next one, peace.